For however many kids you have, does one of them think that they're the favorite?
Worse yet, do you feel like your parents, when you were growing up, had a favorite?
Hey, Barry and Tammy Smith here from Family with Purpose, and we are talking about favoritism today.
Yeah, that's not a very fun topic, we realize.
No, unless you're the favorite, and
Yes.
that's awesome.
Yes, Barry was the favorite, I believe, growing up.
Well, that's not true at all.
No, it's not true.
But I was spoiled. I was the baby. I was an oops.
And I was the oldest child. So
Well,
you see,
that explains a
you
lot.
see how even just your birth order actually can really affect how you perceive favoritism with your parents.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, but my parents had a lot more money when I was growing up, and
They were
had
older.
a lot more time and older, and so I got the 78
Moped.
turbo Trans Am with T-tops and a louver in the back and a spoiler and a cool bird.
And you drove your
It was a
dad's
turbo.
brand new boat. Oh my goodness, at 9 years old. Our kids still
was at
can't believe that.
9.
You said at 9 you would not let your dad park that boat
Not at
because.
9. I was in junior high.
Okay.
Anyway.
Favoritism is the subject of the day.
So my youngest brother is 10 years older than me, so it really wasn't, I mean, he knew I was spoiled and all that. Not spoiled rotten, just spoiled.
Right.
But I think a lot of times, like even with our two kids, that I believe one in particular thinks that we play favorites of the other one. And I gave it away.
You did.
She'll even go favorites much. And which sarcasm is our spiritual gift in our family, at least with me and my daughter and my son. Man, we would never do that on purpose, but I think sometimes it's just the same sex
Right, I agree.
sort of thing. Like Max and I like sports, and so
You have a lot more in common with Max.
we would watch
that way.
football together. We would go to basketball games and watch the Sacramento Kings together.
It's a more natural thing. Same with Taryn and I. Like Taryn and I go shopping. We went to dinner last night. It's just a more
Chick
natural
flicks.
thing for chick flick movies. Yeah. So I think that's one reason that kids in general think that you may have a favorite, because you can relate more to the same sex child.
Well, and then sometimes it's just interest, even if it's not same sex, that you just have similar interests.
Yeah.
If my daughter was super into sports and my son was into
Fashion.
fashion or chess or video games or something, I'd be like, I would be much more inclined to watch a game. And so then it's my responsibility, which is part of the reason we're talking about this, is what is the parent's responsibility in this perception of our kids? We've got to figure out how to navigate that, and I really don't think it's a problem to solve as much as it's a tension to manage.
Yes.
Which is most of life.
Well, and I think favoritism especially comes out this time of the year, Christmas and or their birthday times.
Time of this recording.
Yeah, because they may perceive. It's all about perception, because I'm sure most parents, if not every one of them, try really hard not to have a favorite child. But we can try all we want. It's the perceptions of what the kids think. That's what you have to manage and parent through. And
what we don't want to get into is some sort of ridiculous, like, well, we spent $213 with Johnny and we only spent $199 with Cindy. And
we better go out and spend $14 more dollars.
Nice math. You did that right in your head. And so, that seems a little bit ludicrous.
And
however,
legalistic a little bit.
It's up to you as a parent what you want to do, but when we kind of thinking back of some of the things we did when they were really younger, you wouldn't want to have one of them with 20 Christmas presents and the other one with 5.
Because at that age, they don't even understand at that age. That's a little young.
I mean, when they're, preschool for sure, and maybe even those first
Early
couple years,
elementary.
that even though those 5 gifts may be worth a lot more than the other
they
20,
don't know that.
When Johnny's done opening his 5 and Cindy still has another 15 to open and he's just got to sit there and watch, I can see where that can be like, well, why does she have so many?
I can
but
feed
yet,
into it.
What if as they get older, the daughter wants which ours didn't, but wants a $400 dress.
Yes.
And so she gets a $400 dress.
That's one present.
Our son Max, he gets 10 gifts that are worth $300. Well, she gets more, but he gets 10. So then it's like, that's not fair. It's not fair to my son because she gets $100 more, and it's not fair to Taryn because she gets one present and he gets 10. And we're exaggerating, and none of this has ever really happened like that, but
it's a tension to manage, like you said. And I think the biggest reasons that favoritism is really, it rears its ugly head in families is probably for 2 reasons. One is one child perceives extra time or energies spent on them, or they perceive, number 2, more gifts or money spent on them. Those are the 2, I think, the biggest reasons that favoritism may show up.
And
And-
they'll go ahead.
And it's also super important in both those instances as us as parents that we teach them the very beginning early on, not a month before Christmas or a month before their birthday or during the process of them seeing Max spending so much more time with Barry and Taryn not. No. It's a process that you are constantly bringing up and using that as a teaching moment for your kids.
I think that's what we're wanting to talk to you about. Is not that we have it dialed in. We don't. We're still navigating this
Yep.
tension. And especially now Max is in college and Taryn's not, and Max is going, dude, she gets to stay up so much later than I
Yes.
did at that age.
And she got her cell phone the
she
same
got her
age
cell
that Max
phone,
got, 2
no,
years
2
earlier.
years earlier.
Right.
And they both got a cell phone at the same time, so that's not fair. And so but you teach them along the way, you talk to them about it. And I think that's the biggest thing we want to get across to you is that one of the ways to win at this or to be successful is to get ahead of it.
Right.
Or afterwards, once the dust is settled, to talk through that.
Yep.
And it's work.
Yes.
Parenting is work.
Yes. Don't take the easy way out. Address the elephant in the room, especially when it comes to favoritism, because that will reap a root of bitterness in your kids if it's not addressed.
Yeah. And if one of them really thinks that the other one's favorites, and you really don't do anything to manage that or to talk through that or to make up for it so that they don't feel that, because it's all these perceptions, if they don't feel it, they're probably going to need some therapy when they're older, or they're going to be bitter or angry. It's going to hurt your relationship, and that's what we just don't want to see that happen with us, and we certainly don't want to see that happen with you either. So we wanted to do this video on favoritism, and the biggest win is how to navigate it. And we could talk about all the problems that come, and we could talk about the different ages and seasons, and some of it's about personality. I don't think we mentioned that. So some are more introverts or extroverts, and some of them you may just want to sit and watch a movie, and that's great because it's quality time that they just want to be together and bond. And well, I don't know how much quality time that is, but just a lot of time. And others it may be gift giving. And so if one kid is gift giving and the other's quality time, gift giving kid's probably going to get more stuff. And the quality time is probably going to get more time. And they need to know that because they could look at each other and it's the grass is always greener sort of thing. And that's why we've got to manage.
And educate. Like, you feel loved when I spend time with you. Your brother or sister feels loved when I give them small gifts throughout the year. That's something that you just have to educate. And educate yourself, because you could start feeling bad, too. Like, oh my goodness, I give Taryn so many other things than I give Max, and start feeling really bad.
Oh, yeah. And she's now home and he's gone.
Right.
And so...
I have to send him more things at college. No, that's not the way it is. Yeah. Another thing I want to say, especially when it comes to time and your kids maybe perceive favoritism because of extra time, kids need extra love and attention during different seasons of their life. We have found that with our kids. In third grade,
they always need our love.
Yeah, always.
But at certain seasons, love's got to go up to like 11.
Extra, like work extra. In third grade, our daughter Taryn needed so much more extra time and love and attention. She was going through things at school that were really hard. I think Max...
Was that the bully?
Yes. Max's first year of college, he needed extra time, and Barry went up to visit him several days and just one-on-one time. So seasons, and I think though our kids could perceive the other one being, more loved during that time, when in reality you say, no, Taryn's going through a hard time. We need to spend more time with her, teaching her, talking her through this. Or, no, Max needs dad's attention more. So it's just educating them too, so that they see with their own eyes and their heart, yeah, mom and dad need to spend more time with them, because right now it's a hard time for them, which is a natural thing.
And I don't know that we did it perfect by any stretch.
No,
I know that. But
we still struggle with it.
But here's the thing. You just got to try.
That's
As
right.
parents, we just got to do our best.
And over-communicate.
And we hope that this video will help you to be reminded of what they may be perceiving as favoritism.
Yeah.
And that you can at least be aware of that and be mindful. And then, if need be, that you would have some helpful conversations to move them along in either understanding what's going on, because you may not be playing favorites, but you may be spending more time, or you may connect naturally over here.
Or you may buy a car for one of them and not a car for the other one, because they're not at the age for a car. If you have a 16-year-old that gets a car and you have a 14-year-old that doesn't get a car, what are you going to do? Spend $5,000 on clothes for them? No.
Yeah. Well,
you're going to
maybe you would,
educate.
but
Well, if you want to do
you
that,
can afford that.
But you're going to educate them. Right now, he needs a car. It's time. It's transition time for him to have a car.
And you may or may not get a car
right, at 16
when you
or
turn
17.
16 or 17
Yep.
or go off to college. And we talked about, and before we did this video, about Max got a laptop when he went to college. But it was one of my old ones that I just kind of refurbed it and cleaned it off. And gave it to him, and
Will our daughter
our
expect
daughter
a
right
laptop?
now has got a stinking
Mac.
MacBook Pro, super
family
nice one,
one. Yeah.
and it's nicer than any of the rest of ours,
Right.
including mine. And
So
I
will
do
she
video
expect a
editing on it.
laptop because our son got one before we went to college? I don't know.
And that's the whole point. It's like, listen, sometimes one gets one and another
Yes.
time it doesn't. And we could go on and on about this.
And you have your own situations and your own instances that you need to work through. But again,
Work through it. It's
yes,
worth it.
It is. And again, parenting is hard, and if we just let it go, that's the easy way out. And
There's
our
a-
kids will show for it as they get older.
There's an Apostle Paul in the Bible who wrote the book of Romans, and he wrote to the church in Rome. And he's in Romans 2, so it's early on in this book, and he says, there will be trouble and distress for every human being who does evil, first for the Jew, then for the Gentile, but glory, honor, and peace for everyone who does good, first for the Jew, then for the Gentile, for God does not show favoritism. Now, this isn't about family stuff,
Right.
but it's about the family of God, and that the Jews were the chosen people, and the Gentiles were kind of, eh. And so now it's coming in, and he's speaking to these Jews in this church, and primarily in this instance, and saying, hey, and to the Gentiles that would hear it as well, hey, there's no favoritism from Jews and Gentiles.
Especially in God's eyes.
Everything is shifting underneath Christ. He was countercultural, and so we've kind of probably need to be thinking a little countercultural, and to not just let our kids and go, well, kids are kids, they're going to think what they think. You can do that, but you may pay later for that.
Right.
And we'd like you to try to pay on the front end, because if you don't,
You'll pay a lot more later.
you'll pay a lot more later. So God bless you guys, and keep being faithful to your family. We're here to help. We hope you'll like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. It helps us get the word out. And one of the things we really want to do is have you share this for somebody that you think might need it. And whether you click the link and copy it and paste it, or whether you share it on whatever social media you found this on, we hope that you'll do that.
And that will help people. It'll help somebody, because we don't have it
may.
all together, but we may be one more step ahead of you, or you may be a step ahead of
Yeah,
us. So
and
please share those.
comment and let us
Yes.
know what you're doing to
We're all in this
counteract
together.
this. And we want you to thrive and to grow as families, and we're here to help. Till next time, God bless you. Does your kids think that you play favorites with them? Let's try it again. Hey, do your kids think that you play favorites? Does one of your kids think that they're favorites over the other? No, that's it. Does one of your kids think that? And so
Don't take the easy way out. Address the envelope.